Welcome. Welcome to the world of Q&A. So it has been a long time since I've said that. I can see there's already some people here to talk to me, which is brilliant. Hello, Isla, Tom, Replicant, Pete, other people that I've missed because it's all scrolled away. Thank you for coming by to listen to a new Q&A set and to participate and talk, because this is a conversational show. If you used to watch it all those months and years ago, then you already know. It's a very free-flowing conversational show where I speak about whatever the hell I'm going to speak about. You speak to me, you speak to each other. We talk about all of the gaming stuff. We look at the news and topical things. And hopefully everybody has a wonderful time. I am on just YouTube and Twitch at the moment. I put off the Discord thing until next week because I have some things to tweak and to change. Oh, and some alerts. Gaming with Passion, member for 17 months. I mean, it's been that long. It feels like yesterday that we started playing your favorite Final Fantasy game. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Much appreciated. So, you recognize the background? Yeah, you definitely recognize the background. I have not got fancy new stuff going on. Oh, bollocks. Where is everything? Okay, so there is supposed to be an OST in the background. Apparently I hid it. You can probably hear it now. It's also not new. But I did my best, right? I've been sorting things out in the background, getting things ready. There's a lot going on. Today's actually quite a day to mark, a momentous occasion. It's about bloody time. Pete, member for 24 months. He's got the rainbow goggles. Thank you, Pete. Thank you very much. It is about bloody time. I know a lot of people like this one, so sorry for taking it away. I underestimate myself. That's what it is. That's what I'm told. Actually, this show is worth doing, apparently, even though it's just me speaking nonsense for as long as I speak nonsense for. It's what people love. So let's do it. The significance of today for me is that it was my last day of office work. I've been working in an office for just over a year, which is why Q&Asa kind of stopped in the first place. Things changed, circumstances changed, time became more fleeting. There's a bloody another one, Replicant. 21 months you willed this back into existence. Well, thank you for doing that, because I'm glad to be here. I like this. It was my last day of office work today, which I'm not sad about. Not sad about at all, because it was devastatingly boring. But it means that I can refocus, spend some time on this kind of stuff, the Gaming Arcadia community and channel, and other little projects around it. Many things planned. Tony's managed to turn up as well, despite currently driving a bus full of school children. It must be the holidays. So, I'm welcome to go into the office instead of you. Replicant, you work from home anyway. Don't be cheeky. I know you work from home, except when you're stuck overnight in wherever you got stuck overnight. Last week, you know the story. You were there. Congratulations on the lack of office. Well, Tom, it's. I'm glad not to be there, but I do need to feed myself and my family, So, Isla, don't throw money at it. You do enough. Not your badger birthday, but you want attention too. All you needed to do. No, that was probably the best way to do it, because I know I'm not very good at noticing everything. So thank you for that. And put in a question box if you haven't already. I can't see. I don't know. Maybe you have. So today it's Q&Asa. Conversational. Flows back and forth. I get sidetracked. I start talking about nonsense. Then I come back to telling you how the show is structured. Then Isla yells at me for not noticing something. Do you know what, Isla? It's deliberate. What I've done here is I've made sure that I can't see the questions ahead of getting to them, because every now and again I get distracted and I read the questions ahead of time and it ruins everything. So I've made sure that I can't see, but as a result of making sure that I can't see. So every action has an equal and opposite reaction. That's not quite right, but it's close enough, Consequence of my own action, I could not see. So thank you for putting that up. That leads me to point 2 on how this show works. There is a question box on YouTube. If you're on Twitch, you'll just have to make do without it and just throw things into the comments. But if you're on YouTube, there is a question box at the end of the show. we run through all of those questions, every single one on Q&A. So it's not like the podcast where it's time allowing. Time always allows on this show. We'll get every single one. So stick things in there. They can be questions. They can be pretty much anything else that you can fit in. And we'll at least read them all, if not answer them all. We'll definitely have a little read and some kind of response. So get them in there, because that's always good fun. We're also going to do, sometimes I do a bit of a Discord call-in, but I'm not doing that today. Not doing that today because I want to keep all the chat in one place. So Discord is going to come up in a nice fancy way next week when I can combine all of the text chats together and keep everybody having that conversation that I like. That was the third element of how this show works, but there used to be like 6 or 7 or maybe 12. So what am I missing? I have decided to introduce a new thing where we'll have a little look at the cursed social medias and see what's going on in the world. It's going to be my little window, because I don't like to use those things too much. A little window into the world to react to all of the people and gaming topics, you know. And I've made, look, I like this, it's quite subtle. Look what happens. Do you see that? Do you see how not only does the window come up and present itself and be visible, but the background kind of defocuses and blurs, and then it comes back when I get rid of it. Like a professional video, but it's not a video. It's like just my background, and I'm just being a twat because I like to play around with these things in excess for no reason whatsoever, and then smile when it works. So yeah, that's new. So I think that's how this show works. I might be missing things, and it will become apparent as we go on. But we always start, after the little intro, after that little bit of housekeeping, we always start talking about the games that we're playing. And I've got 10 months of games worth to talk about. So I'm not going to do. I'm going to focus on the ones that I've been doing for the last week or two, whatever's interesting. But I also like to hear what you've been playing. This is where I get my recommendations and decide what to play next. So tell me, while I witter and ramble, what games you've been playing and what you're thinking of them. And I'm going to tell you what I've been playing, because, like you might know, part of my new having time shenanigans is that I've been streaming an awful lot. I've been streaming a bit, and I'm going to stream an awful lot going forwards, but it means that you've seen a lot of the things that I'm playing. And yet there's so much to talk about. Where do I start? Let's start with yesterday, because that's how my brain works. That's the thing I can remember most clearly. Happened yesterday. Played Lies of P. Also, there's like, this is cheating, but I can just see right in the center of my screen is the Lies of P box art for PlayStation Plus. So that's clearly the one that I need to talk about first. I played Lies of P. Some people tell me they love that as a Souls game. It's one of the best ones. One of the best non-from software games. Yeah, people say one of their favorites. And it's definitely one of the best looking. Definitely got one of the best atmospheres around it. I very much like most elements of the combat, actually. I like it's kind of a parry heavy game more than a dodge heavy game. It's got a little system in it where unlike most Souls game, if you've got the opponent locked on in the way that you usually want to when you're fighting, it kind of takes away your capacity to roll, so you don't get the roll with the iframes like you do in a Souls game. It replaces it with a little jumpy dodge, which means it kind of emphasizes its blocking and parrying a lot more. And Lies of P's parrying is fortunately pretty good. It's got quite a tight parry window. You need to be on point for it to work, but the enemies don't dick around like the enemies in Expedition 33, which we'll get to in a bit. They don't fake telegraph and feint and deceive you with every swing of their weapon, which means that actually if you're paying attention, the parrying is quite intuitive and quite satisfying. So Lies of P, nice and dark, lots of atmosphere. It rains quite often. The puppet gets all wet and oily. It's got all of the important things that I need from a Souls game. Most of all, the noises. The noises that it makes. If you've seen me playing Elden Ring, you know I'm actually even willing to go into stealth mode to get the good noises. If you sneak up behind an enemy, or if you stagger an enemy, and then like follow the prompts, follow the positioning, and perform a little soft execution. Doesn't necessarily kill them, so it's a soft execution. It makes a really satisfying noise in Elden Ring, and that's carried through from the previous From Software games. Lies of P can't copy and paste that exact noise, but they understood the assignment, and it makes another really good noise. So the combat's working for me. I'm having a good time with Lies of P. Tom, you've been playing Division 2 and the occasional battle in Expedition 33. So Expedition 33 I'm going to talk about in a minute because I'm also playing it. I'm not very far into it, but I am playing it, and I have actually quite mixed feelings on it so far. Division 2 you've been playing in the community, right? You've been doing that on the Fridays with Craig and previously with Amin until he got scared of the PvP. That's my understanding of what's going on there. And you love Division 2. I wish I did love Division 2, but the enemies got too boring. The environments are really interesting and the enemies are really boring. That was my kind of experience of it. Replicant, you've been playing Wu Chang. Tell me about Wu Chang. I mean, you play an awful lot of games in general, but you play a lot of Souls games. Is Wu Chang one that I should have high on the list? Obviously it's on Game Pass, so I've got quite easy access to it if I want to play it. But do I want to play it? Should it be high on my list for my soul-crushing Mondays, or are there many other things that I should play instead? Over and above Wu Chang. Pete, you've been having a look at PGA Tour 2K25 first look demo. Really? Do you like golf in real life, Pete? Or do you just like golf video games? Or is PGA not even like golf? Am I misremembering what the various acronyms are? Initialisms, whatever. What does it stand for? What does PGA stand for? The G is probably golf. And the A might be some kind of an association. I don't know. Maybe it's just a professional golf association. That would be boring. I should have tried to come up with something funny. You just like golf games, but not actual golf. And you've been playing a bit of Wreckfest. I know that because we did that on the community games. And you've been playing Talos Principle 2. I remember you took 18 years to get through the Talos Principle despite following along on YouTube guides, Pete. Are you finding Talos Principle 2 easier because you've become more accustomed to its mechanics and puzzles and ways of thinking? Or is it another slow burn? Tom, you've been playing community games and solo on the Division 2. You're really loving it, funnily enough, more so now that the end game has arrived, as there's more enemy variety. So when I played it, the enemy variety was like you'd have a guy, and then you'd have a different guy, and then as you progress through, you'd have a guy that was wearing like baking trays, so he could bullet sponge more, and then the baking trays just got progressively bigger and more bulky, so that they could bullet sponge more and more and more and more. And then the normal guys would also become more bullet spongy, but generally everything was just guys in different strange armors. What variety do they manage to introduce to keep the Division 2? Because it's not like Ubisoft's fault necessarily. It's not their fault necessarily, but they have, you know, quite a grounded setting for the Division just because that's what the game is. So you're gonna be shooting people, and when you shoot people, kind of the expected response is that they die. But for it to be a grindy RPG, you need to break that expected response and have them stand up a bit longer. And it kind of doesn't quite land for me, I don't know. I'm overly fussy. Pete, you'd forgotten all about it, but so far you're finding it quicker. Good. Pete, would you like more light-hearted golf games, or do they need to be professional golf association simulation? Because we do community games sometimes, and some golf games are more kind of party-oriented and faster. And we could possibly find something in there. Not so much mini golf, but those do exist too. Tony, you're playing Stalker 2, which I saw a little bit of in the Discord. And then I had to look away because you were spoiling it for me. But how are you finding it? Good? Same question for your other ones. Wu Chang. Starfield, you're just like modding the buttocks over and over again. I know you are. Probably the same for The Witcher 3. You are a buttock modding fiend, and that is why you get so much life out of these games that have good mod support, right? Red Dead Redemption 2, 800 hours, butts everywhere. I know you, Tony. Butts and Coke. Butt mods and Coke, I should say. Tom, combat robots with increasing baking trays as well. They're like 100% baking tray with a few circuits strapped in. Wu-Tang is a mix of Souls and Sekiro. Feels like Sekiro with magic. So that's probably good, right? Sekiro's high on my list that I should get to and play. I had a go at it once on stream because it's a game that has that status where everyone should play it. And I should play it. I should play that for sure. And I had one session on it. But I was not in the mood for it to tell me that I was dying too often. So I kind of had a slow rage quit. Fully intend to go back to it. I'm a little bit scared of Sekiro because from what I've heard, not from what I've played directly, but from what I've heard, you can't very much cheese it. You can't go and like over level your character to brute force through the encounters that you're not very good at. You have to actually learn to play the game. And in my defense, I don't think I did particularly cheese the Souls games that I've played. I've not really encountered any point where I've had to go and grind to over level, but it's like a comfort blanket knowing that you can. That if you get to an encounter that's a bit like, oh, I shouldn't be there yet, I'll come back later, then you can come back later. Whereas I don't think you get those options in Sekiro. I think it's going to remain pretty much just as hard whenever you approach any given scenario. So a little bit scary, but I wasn't afraid of anything. So Sekiro coming soon. Yeah. What else is there? So Pete also wants to get back to Starfield. This is nice, right? Don't forget to talk to each other because I'm all over the place just trying to pick everything up, all the different threads at once. Just having a nice chat because actually, as it turns out, I fucking like games a lot and have a lot to talk about with them. It's nice. Let's talk about... So I've done a little bit of Lies of P. Whizzing through it because there's so much to cover. But Lies of P is a very parry-heavy game. It has nice red flashes when you perfect parry and you slowly wear down the enemy's weapon and break it to slightly adjust the way that they can fight from there. Another game that has a heavy focus and emphasis on parries is Expedition 33, which I don't like the parry system in Expedition 33. I'm going to start off just straight into the negative. Straight into the negative. Expedition 33 is a game that like called out to me for a long time. The setting and aesthetic of it is brilliant. I love turn-based Japanese RPGs. They're my childhood and my adulthood. I'm still playing all of them at the moment, and I want to play all the rest of them. And then you get this nice fresh take on it that has like a real cinematic presentation to its turn-based combat. Tells a really intriguing story that I wish I hadn't seen trailers for, and like it hooks me right in. But as I play it, maybe because my expectations are too high, I keep getting frustrated by things. I don't like the emphasis on like the button prompts in combat, the action twist. The story of episode 33, Expedition 33 goes places. That's encouraging. I've only heard good things about the story, and I like the story so far from what I've seen of it. The story is the thing that's pulling me through, which is how it should be for a turn-based game. It's how it always is. But I get frustrated. I haven't done Act 1 now. I'm still on Chapter 1. I hear people say that there's like head-turning moments coming up in that, and I look forward to it. But I don't like not just the fact that like it makes you concentrate on the combat in a different way because of the button prompts and the parrying and the dodging, but I don't like that it has the opposite of what I said about Lies of P. In Lies of P, the enemies, definitely no spoilers, even if I had played all of it, no spoilers because other people haven't. In Lies of P, the enemies have like quite predictable attacks, even if you don't know their attack pattern, and you can still learn their attack patterns. There are things that you'll come to recognize, like when they've got a second and third hit coming and all the rest of it, but the attacks themselves mostly follow like a sensible trajectory of like, here comes a swing and it's predictable, it's going to hit me at this point in time. I like that. I don't like it when games that have a parry focus or a dodge focus, like a timing focus in general, have enemies that move really unnaturally, so that you can't actually get a sensible read. It becomes entirely pattern recognition for the timing, because they do like some weird little dance. They pull back for a big smack, and then they go, ooh, and they put their palm in your face, and then they clench, and then they go, no, not really, and then they smack. And you have to try and remember the sequence of silly telegraph before you can parry it. And can't think of a game that does that more so than Expedition 33. You get it in like Souls games, the more difficult bosses in Elden Ring. I don't know my Elden Ring well enough to describe them. The ones that begin with M, the Margit and his older variants, they have nasty, squirrely movements and unpredictable timings. But Expedition 33, they just take the piss in the way that they move in the early stages of the game, and it's okay. Like, it feels fine when you're in one of these encounters, and the dodges and parries are kind of superfluous, and they're just a bit of fun. Like, you parry right and it just feels good, it makes a good noise, it counters, but it's not the decisive moment of a battle. It's not like if you're good or bad at parrying determines whether you win or lose. But on Expedition 33, there have been multiple occasions where it's too much. Like, the strategy of your turn-based combat is secondary to your ability to dodge and parry, and I don't like it. See, Replicant, you're different because you don't like turn-based, and I've heard a lot of people say that. People that don't like turn-based games do like the combat in this because of that action stuff. So Tom, you reckon the audio cues are more readable? Some of the attacks are. Like, occasionally, if they're doing particularly magic, I find magic and projectiles, the slower projectiles, are easier to anticipate. But yeah, like Lies of P, I don't need to fight the same enemy and watch how their attack works to know when to parry it in the same way as I do on Expedition 33, because it's just more intuitive and I like that more. That's just me. I don't like on Expedition 33. I'm just getting the negatives out of the way first, because, you know, detox of some kind. It'll make everybody feel better if I get these out of the way. I don't like that it's structured like a Souls game. So Expedition 33 has essentially a campfire system. They're flags instead of campfires, but it has a fixed enemy layout, and when you rest at the campfires, those enemies respawn in the same place, still fixed, still the same. I don't like that. It doesn't suit it. I understand the need. I prefer my RPGs to have like the enemies be visible in the field rather than random encounters, so I'm glad that they're there. I understand that you don't really necessarily want to have a world that you can clear out, so you need some system of respawning the enemies. Having a rest at a campsite makes sense as a system to respawn those enemies, but it's the fixed locations just feel weird. And not just in like a really pedantic, like, oh, it's a game, get over it, don't be silly, it's supposed to feel weird, it's not real life, it's a game. I know, I get it, but it means that each journey from A to B, if you happen to like repeat the path again, it's not just like a Souls game where the same enemies are there. In a Souls game, if the same enemies are there, like, the encounters are still going to play out slightly differently. In Expedition 33, if the same enemies are there, the combat being turn-based in the way that it is also plays out exactly the same, and it just feels weird to me to respawn the enemies and go through the same sequence of attacks with the same sequence of enemies in the same order with the same result. It's a strange choice. And yet, it is nice cinematic turn-based combat, interesting characters and skills, story that I really, really want to continue. And I can, because I'm going to play it after Q&Asa today. That's what I'm going to stream today, some more Expedition 33. I want to get to the end of this Act 1, Chapter 1, whatever it may be, see the story begin to unfold and really grab me. I mostly like the world. Still confused by its floating water section and what it was supposed to be, but mostly like the world, like the characters, like the presentation. Don't like the Pictos and Luminos, or whatever they're called, progression systems too much. They're a little bit too rapid. Tony, Coca is getting cane sugar. You win. You may win, but you lose your teeth. Too bad it won't come to the UK. It'll be too high on sugar. That just means it'll be labelled as an energy drink. It doesn't mean it won't come here. We can have crazy sugar levels. They just have to label it as an energy drink. Which is fine. James, I didn't ignore you. How's your chair? Have you built it? Where did you talk? Your message isn't there. Have you sat on your brand new office chair with your Xbox in your new home playing Final Fantasy XIV? And Craig, what have you been playing? Painful Discourse, you finished... Oh, Kunitsugami, I remember that. Kunitsugami, that's the Capcom one, right? Path of the Goddess. I didn't get on with it. Only because the amount of other games that pulled harder. I started Kunitsugami when it came out and did the first like couple of levels. And it's kind of neat, but kind of neat wasn't enough to hold my focus. That might change now that I get a little bit more time. I might even be able to play freaking 4X games now that I get a bit more time. Total War games. I can do anything. Nothing is going to stop me from playing all of the games. It's not true. There's never enough time for all of them. There are too many. Craig, you've been playing DK Bonanza, man. You grow up. Yeah. You still like it? Is there more to it than just smashing stuff? Are you finding... I don't know a lot about the game, Craig. What are you doing it? I've seen clips of people like not breaking the mechanics, but like kind of using them in perhaps unintended ways, in the kind of way that made Mario 64 last forever, where people are going to find new ways to speedrun and skip sections by kind of glitching out a jump or figuring out a weird way to gain crazy momentum off of spinning in the right place and turning the right number of degrees per frame or whatever else. Abdel, how's it going? It's been a little while since I've seen you as well. What have you been playing? Very good platforming, but the destruction is a huge part of it. But is that fun, Craig? Does that remain fun past the first? Like, rah, 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 smash the dirt. And then you just keep doing it? I have faith that there's more to it than that. I think it's got a fairly decent system of like unlocking kind of new abilities, right? Hopefully not Metroidvania, but unlocking new ways to traverse and destroy. A rare Abdel has appeared. Yeah, because Q&Asa is back. Everyone wants to come back and talk. It's nice here. This is the good community building side of it. And we've got a good one already, so... Really, I should have tried harder to keep this one going. Shouldn't I? Shouldn't I have done that? Yes. Tony. So James says Tony is not set up. You haven't got your chair set up. You're hooked on Tony Hawk 3 and 4. I saw Amin playing that, Demon Hunter. So you interesting. I wasn't sure if it would hold up for people that had never played it before. I know that they have a massive like nostalgia pool for people that lived their teenage years playing those games. I didn't know if they would still be like things worth getting into today, where high score grinding is less of a, less of a thing people have time for. But you're on it and you're loving it. And maybe I'll give it a little download then. Maybe I'll give it a download. I kind of think I'll be terrible at it, but maybe it's fun even if you're terrible. That's a question, Abdel. Is Tony Hawk fun if you're terrible? Or does it only kind of come together if you reach a certain capacity to chain combos and have fun? Oh, I'm going to die. I'm not going to die. Tony, tell you when you can go to your personal Discord server, share BDSM. Well, Tony, I regret reading that one aloud. Thank you. Craig, it does. You unlocked an elephant transformation. Spoilers! It's not, it's fine, it's not got any kind of story. It lets you basically hoover up everything. That means you can find new ways to traverse the level. Sounds awful, stupid kids games. Boo. I'll give it a go one day. One day when Nintendo put it on sale. You wish they put Tony Hawk 1 and 2 in Game Pass already, have they not? They remastered those as well, didn't they? Or am I imagining things? I don't know, probably. I will read pretty much anything, James, but sometimes I proofread ahead of saying it out loud. Final Fantasy XIV, best MMO ever. I mean, it's the only one you've played, James. This is like a meme saying that Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin is the best Final Fantasy game he's ever played. It's true for him. So you're going to need to go with a similar caveat as the only one that you played. Wizard 101 is the best MMO ever. What? Wait. Perfect opportunity to do my fadey background again because I want to know what that is. Wizard 101. What in the Roblox? What in the Roblox? Can't even find an official trailer. It's just a load of YouTube reaction videos of people saying, is this the worst MMO ever? Wizard 101 in 2025. Wizard 101. King's Isle Entertainment. Here we go. Here we go. Here's a trailer for the game. And bosh! Turn-based combat MMO. So that's alright though. Final Fantasy XI was a turn-based MMO. And actually that was fine. Is that it? Is that the whole trailer? Oh, that was disappointing. Yeah, Final Fantasy XI was turn-based. And really difficult to do anything on your own. Nostalgia. So you did actually play this thing, Abdel. When did you play this thing? How long ago? Because it's still current and getting content in 2025. Doesn't look like it should be, but it is. That trailer sold it. I didn't... Tom, I blinked and I missed the part that was the game. Like, most of that trailer was just the big splash screen that someone knocked up in paint. Oh, Rep, you love Lineage and EverQuest. Lineage 2 and EverQuest 2. Yeah. Proper grind. Proper grind. It was too much for me. I didn't get far in it. EverQuest 2 I wish I had played a bit, but I was all in on Asheron's Call 2 in those days. And it was hard to run more than one at a time. I really like MMORPGs. It's my favourite genre that I don't play. But like World of Warcraft calls to me because I put a lot of time in that despite initially not liking it. And then every time I go back to it, it just throws its horrible cosmetic stores and awful onboarding experience in my face and puts me off sometimes before I've got through the launcher. Tabula Rasa, I remember that. That was the space lasers, right? I can't remember who made it. I remember the game, I played it a bit. It's like planet side vibe, but not all PvE stuff. Yeah, it was a Richard Garriott game, yeah. And it lasted like a year at most. It wasn't very long, was it? And I don't think it was particularly good. I remember having guns. I remember it being a little bit janky, and I remember blue energy fields around some of the bases in it, like the NPC hubs. Tom, you've not played an MMO. Afraid you'd never life again. Nah, you're getting there. Hellgate London, best MMO ever that died in less than a year. Why did it die? It's one of those ones, like it had good hype around it when it came out. It had everything going in its favour, or so it seemed. And you'd think that meant it released and it was a disaster and everybody hated it, or it didn't work and the servers were down and all the rest. But all I ever hear is people liked it. Bill Roper from Blizzard made it after leaving WoW. Maybe it just got crushed by WoW. In those days, Blizzard were pretty kind of petty and nasty in the way that they pushed their marketing and crushed their competition. Like if a new game was coming out and they had any kind of like attempt at hitting the news cycles, Blizzard would have an answer on the same day, very deliberately. Small game would be like, oh, we've got like a new expansion coming. Blizzard would say, fuck you, we're announcing what we're doing on the same day, so we get all the attention, and it worked very effectively. A fair few fell by the wayside. Warhammer MMO, yep. Warhammer MMO. Yes, I played that as well. Wasn't a massive fan of that. Wasn't a massive fan of Lord of the Rings Online. Basically wasn't a massive fan of every game that tried to be World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft isn't worthy of being that kind of template. Why did the Lord of the Rings copy it so closely? There are other ways to make games. Is what it is. This isn't the MMO show. Let's talk about the next game on the list. Does anyone know what else I've played? All of the Final Fantasies. Let's talk about Final Fantasy for a bit. I kind of might make a really fucking long Final Fantasy video at some point. I mean, thank you very much. I don't know what that means. It's yellow. That means you paid loads of money. You and Chronic are playing Grounded 2 in the Gaming Arcadia Discord. More people should join the Discord. Play some games. I agree. The Discord is cool. The streaming lounges are a fun place to be. I'm definitely going to be in there more in the days to come because I've got some more time at home now. So it's a nice place to be when I'm not on YouTube and whatever. I can see Dave Max joins you in there as well. Tell me about Grounded 2, like your first impressions of that, especially, so Chronic, you say you're enjoying it so far, but you've got strong opinions. I know you were concerned about the bugs ruining it, and I assume you haven't got into it enough for that to be a problem yet, but now that you have started and you've seen the intro sequence for Grounded 2, do you still think that we should be playing Grounded 1? Or is the sequel where we have to be now? Abdel, every publisher out there made a WoW clone, just like everybody chasing Battle Royale or live service. Yeah, it's not just that. Like, the chase for an MMO happened kind of before WoW. Like Astron's Call 2 that I played, that was Microsoft trying to get in on it. The chase to have a game that had a subscription model was there. They just copied and pasted so much that I didn't like about World of Warcraft. Oh well. So, let's avoid Final Fantasy 14. Oh, let's talk about Final. I didn't avoid 14, I just haven't played it enough. And I don't know if you're the person to say that it's the best ever, because, you know, it is, I think, the only one that you've played. Have you played any others, James? Absolutely correct me if I've got that wrong. And I'm not saying, like, obviously, you're very entitled to say that it's a good game. You've put, like, 1 million hours into it by now, which means it's doing something right and you love it, and it probably would be your favorite. But do you have point of comparison with other MMOs, or do you just know that you like it that much? Guild Wars was smart for not having a subscription. Yeah, I mean, subscriptions were controversial back then, but obviously worked out for some games. Not many can pull it off. I still kind of like a subscription model. Elder Scrolls Online would have been a lot better if they just kept up with a subscription model, but they had to try and fit new market conditions, and I don't like the way that's broken up and sold off at all. And that's the other one that you played, James, Elder Scrolls Online. I agree Final Fantasy 14 is better than Elder Scrolls Online, I would say. It's not... so Replicant, you said you couldn't get into it. It had kind of an Elder Scrolls-y atmosphere. I liked the... it wasn't as exclamation point driven as most of them are. You could pick a direction and walk in the Elder Scrolls and kind of get that side of exploration. But aside from that, it didn't much feel like an Elder Scrolls game. So had that awkward split where its own fan base were like, this isn't what I was after. Is WoW Classic free nowadays, or do you still need a sub? I think you still need the sub. Yeah, Replicant says you do. So if you have a sub to World of Warcraft, it's all of the World of Warcrafts, including Classic. But Classic is messy to me. One of the things about an MMORPG is you put so much time into it. I need to kind of know that that time isn't for nothing. It sounds silly because obviously it's for nothing. It's a video game, but having your character carry forwards through years and years of a game is neat. It's what I like about MMOs, in a sense, that you're building on what you've already done. When you have this really disjointed Classic and copying of characters and setting up new servers and all of the rest of it, that element is taken away. So yeah, I hope World of Warcraft runs on the ROG Ally. I'm sure it will. You've not played World of Warcraft much this year. the trilogy that they're doing, the Battle for Azeroth or whatever it is kind of enticing. Like big story beats, but like I say, I get enticed and I approach the game and it makes me sick in my mouth. So I find it very difficult to get into. Tony, do you play YouTube videos always on AV1 in the settings? Yeah, live ones won't be. YouTube don't allow it yet. But yeah, you should do. Set it to, like, it's not available for everything, but you should. The stream that I'm doing at the moment is AV1, but you won't see it in AV1. You'll see it in, if I'm lucky, VP09, VP9. Because they just haven't got AV1 live yet, but the post-processing might turn it into that. Oh, codecs. Everybody loves talking about streaming codecs. Everybody. What should we talk about next? I was talking about Final Fantasy, so I'm playing Final Fantasy 16 at the moment, which is not very Final Fantasy in a lot of ways, but I actually really like it. So that's good. I've played Final Fantasy 1 and Final Fantasy 2. I'm going through the series from the beginning to get a taste from them, because I started at 7 and I haven't previously gone back. And that's been a really neat experience, and I'm very glad that I did Final Fantasy 1, like the original one, before playing Stranger of Paradise with Amin, which we're doing on the Thursdays at the moment for Split Stream. Strangers of Paradise is a lot more fun than I expected. James became a member of the... James, you were already a member. Oh shit, you've upgraded to gold. James. Yes, Final Fantasy 14 is the best MMO of all time, and always will be. Nothing shall defeat it. The gold, James, you get extra stuff, because you can invite someone else into the Discord with the member privileges as well, if there's anybody else that you want to get in there. And that's very helpful, because like I say, I don't have a job anymore, so memberships and stuff like that means that hopefully I'll be able to do this a lot, which would mean a lot. So thank you, James. Oh, that took me out. Gold membership's just like the fancy tier for being all elaborate and peacock. Thank you. Let's do Final Fantasy. I've talked enough about. I'll talk in depth about any of these games if anybody wants me to, but I don't think that you do. I think we should move on to the next bit of nonsense. Abdel, when did I start podcasting about games? Was it with Gaz for the first time? It was. Oh, what a mess those first podcasts were. I have spent my entire life hiding from cameras and spotlights and microphones and anything else. Podcasting was never a thing that I intended to do. And actually, when we were starting Game On Daily, I wanted to be entirely behind the scenes and secretive and just have the platform stand on its own. And Gaz wanted lots and lots of attention. And in the end, we compromised and he got lots and lots of attention. And I was there. So yeah, that was how it started. And it started very basic. And then we added cameras and all the rest of it. Weird one, I'm not sure, because I hadn't seen many podcasts and we weren't copying any other podcasts. When I look around now and I look at the format of any given podcast, the cameras down the side and the big main frame is really, really common. And I don't know if we did that first, or if that was just like a common sense thing that other people were already using. I like to think we pioneered the modern podcast layout, which obviously I'm not using here. I've got Doom behind me and it's just kind of funny. Tony, you didn't find us on Game On Daily, did you? I thought you found us on Twitch or something. Either way, it worked out. That was a lot of years ago. Rand doesn't even do camera yet, and he's one of the biggest. Yeah, he promised he would as well, didn't he? He should be doing that by now. Your jaw is broken. Whoops. Unbreak it. You're going to need it for talking and eating and whatever, you know. Important stuff, having a working jaw. So, I don't know, shall we talk about something else? What's going on in the world today? Let's do that part of the show. By all means, keep talking about the games that you've been playing, because like I say, I love it. Rep, you go on camera enough at work for your MS Team meetings? Yeah. Do you have, because you work from home, don't you? Does that mean you do the kind of laptop camera up at your neck and nostrils, and the rest of your team as well? I have that embarrassing scenario where if I do like a Teams call or like an interview or something from home, the kind of expectation or the standard is that laptop on a table in front of you pointing up your nose, Teams blurred background, and maybe like a headset microphone, or you get the occasional like chunky Corsair gamer. And then I'll go onto one of those things like I have a fancy podcasting setup that I have to try and hide. I'm like, oh, do I keep my gaming Discord things in the background? Do I blur it out professionally? Do I whack up the green screen? Do I use the podcasting microphone? Do I switch off my Sony mirrorless camera and stick the laptop one pointing up my nose so that... Yeah, it's a weird scenario that I hope I don't have to encounter again. Makes your single chin look like 10 chins. Beautiful. Pete worked out well casting because I talked sense while the others were talking bollocks, and it was noted. Do you know, I'm not sure if I talked sense. I am sure that a lot of bollocks were spoken by a lot of people, and I typically play it rather safe and sensible, so I guess that's what talking sense is. All right, Pete, I'll take it. And thank you very much for the super chat and for being a member for as long as you have, and for playing the community games and sticking sausages in the food channel and all the things that you do. So, awesome. Let's look at, this is high risk. I'm going to caveat it and say I don't know what's going to come up. Let's have a look at the socials and see what's going on in the world. I say let's have a look at the socials because that's what I'm going to do. Here's some socials. Oh, Replicant, I'm not following you on the Gaming Arcadia one. How rude. This is Twitter, some would call it. It's not my Twitter account. It's the Gaming Arcadia Twitter account, which I don't use for browsing and I don't use for following people. So it should be. It might be an overly clean algorithm, actually, given that the first post on there is about Captain America and the second one appears to be about Hedges and Keanu Reeves. Okay, so the idea is, if you're a member of the Discord and you're part of the community, I will use these accounts, these nice branded accounts, to follow you on the social medias, and then you're gonna unconsciously guide this part of the conversation just by using social media. So it's not very much underway yet because I asked people for their socials in the Discord to be involved in this, and nobody answered. But there is a small subset of people that have done it that will hopefully push this feed towards gaming. And right at the start now on the following tab we've got follow PlayStation. My wife might follow PlayStation. Right, PSA, video games. Fuck you, brandy thing. So PlayStation have a summer sale. I'm not going to look into that right now. If anyone sees any brilliant deals, by all means tell me. Call of Duty Season 5, 46 images from Black Ops 6, Zombies and Warzone. It's all Call of Duty. I find it hard to care. More Call of Duty. Shut up, GameSpot. Can you read Elvish Rune? This was a terrible idea. Do you want to play the lottery? No. Oh, here's something. Grounded 2 came out today. People are playing it. It's not supposed to have sound, but it's got sound. Overwhelming sound. Let's mute it. Very brief little overview. Grounded 2. Go big 100. So what's new? That's Gears of War. That's Elder Scrolls. This is just a Game Pass advert. This section is a disaster. I need more people to follow so that this works better next week. Did I play Bonanza yet? No. Craig told me that Bonanza is for children. He said I mustn't play it because it's like Mario but with tons more charisma. Freaking hate Mario. I don't hate Mario. How could I? not charismatic enough to have any strong feelings about. So, what's next for July? So glad you are. It's another bloody Game Pass advert. And Bandai, Patapon. I don't know anything about that game. I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about it. More Call of Duty. This is... like, at least it's not just tons of Nazi shit like you'd expect from Twitter. It is just showing me gamey stuff. Mafia Old Country from the PlayStation stuff. Formatted for Instagram.
Master yours and remember,
It's Square.
it's not the steel that kills, but the hand that guides it. But our
And
family's message is always...
they've managed to somehow make it look terrible. Okay, cool. Cool. They managed to make that look like a PlayStation 3 game. I don't think it does. I think the footage that I've seen elsewhere off of Twitter has looked pretty decent. But that didn't. Robocop. It's Replicant laughing at Robocop. See, this is how it works. Rep's there. Follow Rep. He's in the community. I can see what he's interacting with. It's Robocop. It's a meme. If you have a bad day at work, remember that this guy died at work and they resurrected him so that he could go back to work. True that. True that. Isla, why are you angry? Is it because social media? I have no not safe for work timeline. Well, on Twitter. The reason that I can't use my main profile, like the Asa Games profile that I'd actually use social media with if I were going to, is because it's full of corruption and sludge. Not like it's safe for work corruption and sludge, but it's sludge. It's awful to look through feed. It's just console warring in American politics, and I don't know why. So it might be because I follow Tony, yeah, and all his alt sexy accounts. So yeah. OnlyFans corruption? No. No. Game on Daily corruption. Unfortunately. Yeah. I think I made a mistake on my Twitter account of being too generous with who I followed. If that makes sense. I don't know what I did, but it's a mess. This one's like better. I think most of the stuff on here, my wife uses this account to help me because I'm not very good at social media, so she does a lot of posting on it. And I think she's followed some outlets that she thinks would have interesting gaming stuff, but there's a lot of GameSpot here and stuff like that, so I might need to have a little bit of a clean up. But so the Epic Game Store, Dead by Daylight, Walking Dead characters. No thanks. Dead by Daylight was kind of fun when we played it on community games, but I don't understand the people that play it regularly because it seems utterly wank in that scenario. It's quite funny when you've got 5 people that don't know what they're doing and the murders are just like comedy. But when you've got people that know the game, it seems utterly wank. Stealth is for cowards and wankers. More GameSpot, more Bandai. This section will get better, I think. Give me your social media stuff so I can see what's going on. Nintendo. And the name of the new console is Wii U. It's Jeff Grubb reposting it from 2011. Okay, what a character, eh? What a character. Jeff. Tony, you need to trademark your gamer tag and pick. What pick? That one? Don't think you can trademark anime characters that you didn't draw. I burned you alive and bled you to death in many games, but I'm not sure I did in Dead by Daylight. We did that in Back 4 Blood for one. Ali, you want to play Humanity again, but you want to delete your save data and pretend you never played it before, but it won't let you. Is that on the Xbox, right? Or on the Quest? I can't remember. I think you played it on the Xbox, didn't you? Play on the Quest instead, it'll be neat. Well, PC flat screen, right? On the Xbox app, because I think they put it on Game Pass, didn't they? Dead by Daylight is so much fun. Is it though, Craig? is it fun when you get to the point where like the killer just stands by the exit because they know the game? Or is it fun because none of us knew what we were doing and you ran away screaming constantly from like, and that was when you were the killer. Craig was the killer. He was just running away screaming from the 4 survivors. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Spider-Man's there. What's he doing? Tomorrow is your last chance to get Spider-Man for 43% off during the store summer sale. Oh, I've caught the summer sale late apparently. Caught the announcement and the announcement that it's ending in the same scroll. Tony, you can't say where you got that picture from because obviously it's too small for me now. I've seen it though, and I know what it is. It's the Jujutsu Kaisen one, right? I've forgotten the fella's name, and I might be wrong on what it is, but from this distance, I should know your picture intimately by now, Tony, but I'll look at it later. I'll get there. Oh, it was hand drawn. Okay, so was it hand drawn specifically for you? Is it your own one? I did not know. Didn't know. Let's have a look at the next bit. So more Epic Store. That's a spider and some Witcher and a guy in a hat. More Grounded 2, which you're all playing and I'm not, but I might be soon if Chronic tells me that it's worth moving on from Grounded 1. There's some X-Men stuff. Jake Schreier's going to make a youth-focused reboot of X-Men. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. Hobbit game. Not supposed to be good, right? Cozy game set in the Shire. This isn't working. This was a terrible idea. Let's look at Blue Sky instead. So, PlayStation Plus monthly games for August from Eurogamer. Lies of P. I'm playing Lies of P at the moment. I quite like it. Let's loop back to the start of the show and just get... Like, if I can clip it right, I can literally loop back to where I started talking about Lies of P and just run it indefinitely to this point. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to move on. Here is the Xbox handheld. The ROG Ally and Ally X pre-orders are going to open during Gamescom. And they've shown some prices, right? For this thing. Is anyone here planning to get this? Either edition, the ROG Ally or Ally X. I'm not a handheld person, especially now that I get to play games at home all the time, hopefully. So I have no plans to acquire one, but some of you do play things handheld and do go out and about with your consoles. Not paying $900 for a handheld. What would you pay for a handheld? FTW, good afternoon. I was going to say evening, but it's afternoon for you, right? Yeah. So you're not planning to get one, Pete? Not a handheld fan? Do you reckon it's going to do well for itself? Do you reckon it's going to disappear into obscurity? Does it matter? I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? Like if it does well, if it does badly, it's not a whole lot of effort for them to keep supporting it once it's out in the wild, even if only 20 people buy one. Be right back. Okay, that's fine. Tony, I'm going to be buying it for sure. Not sure when though. Just to piss off Nintendo. I don't think Nintendo are going to be pissed off if you buy a ROG Ally. Especially not as you're inevitably going to get a Switch 2 at some point. Nintendo are going to love you. They're going to greatly appreciate that you got whatever the new Animal Crossing is for your wife. And there's nothing you can do about it. Pete, loads of people seem keen on handheld, so it has its place. I don't know these people. But the Switch did well for itself, didn't it? So there must be an audience that loves to play handheld. Does that audience want to pay 600, 900 quid, whatever the thing is? I don't know. Paying for Discourse, you started Wu Chain, but you're not sold on it yet. So Replicant's playing that, Tony's playing that. Tony, what did you think of it? I can't remember if I was told that I should have it high on my list or if I should put it off and play Sekiro and Elden Ring and all of those other things first. Took a break from Wu-Tang when you saw that I'm streaming, or you'd have been here earlier. Oh, don't mean to disappoint you, FTW, but I'm always streaming now. Always streaming. You're never going to play a game again. But this is the best one for conversations, right? Wu-Chang, take off the clothes. It'll be better. I always take off my game. Always take off my game to play clothes, Tony. Always take off my clothes to play games. Except I don't, because I'm usually on stream, and you'd know if it were true. You would know. Isla, you destroyed humanity. You cleared your save file. Good. When I say Pete, it sounds like Pete. I am intending to pronounce things more clearly. I'm trying. My microphone does eat some of the letters as well, because it's filtering out background noise. Takes out the best parts of my voice, unfortunately. It isn't... I wouldn't recognise the best parts of my voice, so I'm speaking complete nonsense there. Tom, you've downloaded Wu-Chang, but the Division is too cracked-like at the moment. Tom, go and play some Wu-Chang for your own good. Tony, you like it, but it's getting crazy difficult. Yeah, that's... like, I'm not drawn to games that state difficulty as a main feature. I'm not like shy of a game being difficult, but at some point when they're built to be difficult and they're like, this is the main selling point, it's really hard, it's harder than anything you've ever played before, definitely the hardest game. It's just going to cross that line to being frustrating, probably. No, you butthole. What does that mean? Who are you talking to? It just inherently sounds like Peep. Okay, fine. But also, when I listen back to my streams and things sometimes, I know that it clips the start and end of some words. Misses sounds that were there, I promise. And sometimes just kind of dips and crushes my voice completely. But it's that or massive fan noise, so I've gone with that for the time being. Tony, you've been hearing lots of Souls-like fatigue is starting up and you agree it's getting too much. Yeah, like Expedition 33 copying things from Souls is a step too far for me. And the formula, I'd say I have some fatigue, but not in the same way as I'd have like open world fatigue or superhero fatigue. It hasn't got to that point for me. I'm still enjoying them. Which is good, because every Monday I play Souls games for soul-crushing Mondays. So I better keep liking them. Wu-Chang is a bit rougher. A bit tougher. Rougher and tougher. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to steer clear of it, especially if the other features carry it and make it a good game. But that in itself is not like, oh, that's the hardest, that's my reason to play. It's not a motivator. It's more of a, like, the opposite of one of them, you know? Makes me less inclined to jump in because I don't want to play to a certain point and get completely stuck and frustrated. Craig, you're sick of seeing the same looking games every time there's a show. You mean the hack and slash Souls-like? I love seeing the same games every show. What ones have irritated you, Craig? And Craig, do you ever play any of these? Because Amin doesn't like fantasy games, right? So Demon Hunter won't play things that have swords and sorcery. And as a consequence of that, he won't touch most of the games in the Souls genre. I don't know of you playing Souls games, Craig, and I don't know of you playing like Oblivion and stuff like that. Do you like your fantasy games? You play Grounded, and that's obviously not the same as a kind of high fantasy orcs and dwarfs setting, but you don't. You don't. But it's a wonderful break from your life as a mechanic to go and ride a horse instead. So you do like fantasy games, just not Souls-like ones. Okay. Is it because you're scared? Are you scared of the difficulty? And I ask it in a trolly way, but it's a reasonable stance to say that you just don't want to play something that's difficult for the sake of being difficult. Because It's not what everybody wants to game for. Some people do. Some people feel a genuine sense of achievement for beating a task that's set to be challenging. It's what they're there for. James, what early Final Fantasy game am I on? Last time I was on Final Fantasy 3. I haven't started Final Fantasy 3. I did 1 and 2. 3 will come soon. I have the scary, daunting prospect of a massive Final Fantasy video at the end of playing them all. Massive video, because I like Final Fantasy a lot. I'll get onto it soon. I'll get onto 3 soon, but the Final Fantasy Tactics remaster, whatever you want to call it, is coming at the end of September, and I'm very, very excited about that one. So I don't know if I want to be in the middle of a different Final Fantasy game when that one comes out. Fuck it, yeah I do. Let's play everything. Play everything. Pete, you set most games to easy. Yeah, I'm a defaults guy whenever I can. If the game is supposed to be hard and the default is hard, then I'll play it hard. But otherwise, I like to think that that's the most tailored experience, the one that the developers give you out of the box is going to feel right. And it's not always the case, but that's typically what I go for. Because I don't necessarily need the game to be hard. I don't necessarily mind if it's not hard. Final Fantasy 16 is not remotely difficult, and I'm having a nice time with it, blasting stuff. Lies of P hasn't been that difficult so far, apart from the fact that I got completely lost running around in circles, but I'm having a nice time with it. Elden Ring could be hard in places, but I had a nice time with it. So, yeah, difficulty is not like a key factor in my enjoyment of a game. Doesn't define whether it's good or bad. Unless it really falls outside of, like, certain parameters where it just becomes irritating or boring, I suppose. Gee, I like games. Lots of them. Right, let's talk about... No, I'm still on the Blue Sky scroll, because this seems to be just Eurogamer, actually. That's why it's all games. Wu-Chang, Fallen Feather Studio to continue optimizing performance and rebalance cheap difficulty. Yeah, whatever, that's a nothing. Xbox users will now need to verify their age in compliance with the UK's Online Safety Act. Let's talk about that. The UK's Online Safety Act. Has anyone encountered any problems? Any services that you were trying to access and the government said no? Does anyone have strong feelings about overreach and censorship and all of that kind of stuff? For me, I probably need to put some more thought into it. It's not bothered me very much yet. My kids haven't mentioned it yet. Not safe for work content on Reddit. So you had to, what did you have to do, Craig? Did you bother accessing it? You say you sorted it. Did you sort it through nefarious means? Did you use a VPN? Did you work around it, or did you show them your face? Like register with an email and ID and all of that kind of stuff. There's various options. I'm fairly trusting myself. So when they have these verification options where it scans your face, estimates your age, and then deletes the photo and takes that as verification. I might be naive, but I like to think that that is what it's doing, that it's not profiling me and storing my face somewhere and opening me up to identity theft and all the rest of it. So, and in that case, I don't have a whole lot of problem with it. But I do get the concerns that people have around like overreach and censorship in general, and things going beyond trying to protect children and what the actual motives are. I'm not a massive like, oh, I totally trust the government in all things kind of person either. So I get the complaints. Craig, they took one look at your face and said you're old as fuck, and you trusted that method as well. Pete, you won't randomly give your credit card details out, but Pete, that's exactly what I was going to ask for. No, I've not seen one that verifies by credit card. If you do come across a website that asks you to verify your age by punching in a valid credit card detail, close your browser and throw away your PC. You're not allowed it anymore. or phone or wherever you're browsing, you know. No way you're giving even more info. But Tom, so the facial scan one though, if you trust it, which you don't have to, you're not actually giving away any info, right? It's literally the phone is verifying your age and saying yes, you're passing a check, like the I'm not a robot tick box, but a little bit more sophisticated. And much like if you have a PC and you're using the facial recognition to open it, or you've got a phone and you're using your fingerprints and all of that kind of stuff, it doesn't send those photos and those fingerprints anywhere, right? So the facial one, if you trust it, isn't taking any data besides a tick box that you're old enough. Discord gave you the option. Yeah, Discord is where I did the face thing. What did you go for, Rep? You used the photo of face or driving license. But did it give you the message that it's not keeping it and it's deleting it after it's gone through the verification and all that kind of stuff? Tom, you don't trust it, and more than that, it's the government overreach that you have issues with. Yeah. But what are you going to do then, Tom? Are you going to sign a petition and not use the internet until they lift it? Or are you going to go the VPN option? Or are you going to... like, different websites have a few options. I know Discord had some code you can stick into the console to flag yourself as old enough and things like that. Kept asking you to open your mouth more too. Yeah. Yeah, so you went through the same thing I did. Told you they would delete the picture. Yeah, FCW, you may not have heard of it yet, because we've just rolled it out in the UK, and it's mostly only the UK at the moment that's doing it. Apparently Europe are following suit soon. But much like I don't know how often you see it in America actually, but you get those pop-ups for GDPR to consent to your data being used. And I think it's California has COPPA, COPPA. And because in many cases it's easier to just blanket stick these prompts up and stick these guards up across the globe rather than trying to figure out where someone is, you might start seeing them. Some US states are going to be doing similar. I mean, once the infrastructure's there, it's more likely to happen. Once there's some acceptance around the world, it's more likely to happen. So yeah, you could well see it. You could well, in the near future, have Donald Trump choosing what you can and can't look at on the internet. Sorry, FTW. So yeah, I get the concerns about overreach and all that kind of stuff. It's just I don't have the energy to care at the moment. Is that bad? It's probably bad. But I've got other things going on. So let's see what else is going on. Keep talking about that if you want to. Like I say, big conversation, and I'll pick up what I can and you can talk to each other, and you can do that right after you've verified. Send me a picture of your face and I'll allow you to continue talking about whatever you want to talk about. Right. Some retro stuff. I like retro stuff sometimes. I'm going to play retro stuff, not just Final Fantasy, all of the games. PlayStation Plus's free August games from GameSpot. Okay, this is getting a little bit repetitive. Until Dawn's on sale. Who cares? Here's the Switch 2. An update has arrived with some stability. Great. GameSpot. You know what? How do I unfollow? You're boring. Okay, here we go. DayZ? What the fuck? DayZ's like 8 million years old. Is this why Joe was talking about it in Discord? No, Joe's got a PC DayZ server that he plays on. DayZ? Okay, DayZ's coming to PlayStation Plus, and so is My Hero. This is the essential base tier, the old Games with Gold equivalent. So those three games. I'm not going to play My Hero. Not going to play DayZ. Not on PlayStation, that's for sure. And I'm already playing Liza P. No strong feelings. Did I play Rogue Galaxy? What's that? Yes, no, maybe, can't remember. As in, like N64 Rogue Galaxy. No strong memories. Craig. Leaks of information don't exist. It's all fabricated. You'll be fine. What, Tony? I've got Craig's face. It's leaked everywhere. I may not have an issue with the current government enacting it, but what if someone gets in power who abuses it in ways we really don't like? Oh, like the Xbox leadership proposition. What happens when bad people get in charge of consolidated super company? We'll see. Rogue Galaxy was on PS2. Thump! I just dropped something because you upset me so much with that, James. It was on the PS2. No, I did not play it. I know. There are important games that I've missed. I can go back to it. It's not too late. I've got years of life left. At least 2 of them, I think. Let's do... I don't know, actually. I don't know if there is anything else to do. There's some Predator stuff. Battlefield 6. I think they're showing that in a couple of days, right? The multiplayer of it. Is anyone interested in the Battlefield campaign? Or the multiplayer, actually. I'm just assuming that everyone's more interested in the multiplayer, but maybe you don't care for either. Tom, that's too much thinking ahead for most people. Most of the people making these decisions won't be around to see the effects. We need more retirement homes. I see. Episode 13 will be excited for Battlefield. Yeah, I know a few people that will be. And I've said before on Battlefield many a time, but you know, I've not done this for 10 months, so maybe I've not said it for a long time. I really like the spectacle of them, and I really don't get along with the gameplay of them. Because they always end up being me running for 10 minutes and then getting run over by a tank. Me running for 10 minutes and then getting sniped in the back of the head. Me running for 10 minutes and then getting taken up by an aeroplane. But I appreciate the spectacle for the people that are actually knowing what they're doing and where they're going, and you know, getting involved in the battlefield moments. That stuff looks cool as fuck. Destruction looks really cool and everything about it looks really cool. But running for 10 minutes and getting blown up by some kind of bomb and then getting told that you won the game never felt quite right. You like sniping in Battlefield, so you're probably the one that's shooting me after my 10-minute run, damn it. And you'll kill me like 13 times in a row as I'm running around, and then I'll win because I was just an insignificant part of a 64-player team, so joke's on you. You're hoping it's like the OG Battlefield again. Like the little snippets that they're showing were obviously campaign, and they look pretty, and the destruction looked good. There has been some bits and pieces of multiplayer from the alpha going out and about, and I'm optimistic that it will be, but just like Fable, it might not be, says Tony. A Battlefield sniping moment. Great fun when they call you a camper. Yeah, I mean, you can get away with that on Battlefield. I think it's more par for the course there than it is on like Call of Duty or other games like that. Or Pete, Quake 2, where you're also refusing to strafe. Yeah, I think on Battlefield it's more of like part of the expectation that actually camping is a reasonable strategy and approach to the game there. So I wouldn't worry too much. You do you. You have a nice little snipe if you're comfortable. Make a cup of tea, have a sit down, shoot when you see someone, and you'll do well. Right. Hasn't, if we ever need to fight back, online anonymity will be pretty important. Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? It's like, it's not very games related, but it's a blessing and a curse. Clearly it's in our best interest to have a free and open internet. And at the same time, clearly 98% of people are dickheads that can't be trusted with a free and open internet. So you still have to hope for what's right, right? It was such a noble concept. But no, dead internet all over. Keep all of the people out with ID checks and just let the robots run rampant. And I will be in my element. Talking to nice, you know, the way that like the various AI things are appeasing in the way that they talk and engage with people. They'll replace people entirely and everyone will be happier for it until disaster strikes. Of some variety, some nice dystopian future for us all to look forward to. Let's talk about what else is going on. Big news that I keep seeing going around, the big news big news, but all the podcasts want to talk about, and I don't really, is... where did it come from? PlayStation games going multi-platform. What was the story? Oh, it was like a job listing, right? Twitter people will know, and social media people will know. Let me get rid of this for now and bring my nice vibrant background back. There was a job listing at Sony to get some suit position to manage their third-party presence across PlayStation. No, that's them. Sony are PlayStation. PC, phones, Switch, Xbox, all the rest of it, right? And it got everyone all in a fever and a tizzy. Oh, multi-platform, whole slate, boring sound bites that people go over. And it became the thumbnail for every podcast for the week. Do you know, I don't care. We'll talk about it really briefly. It's not very interesting, you know. I'd rather talk about the parry systems in Lies of P and Expedition 33 than what games are going multi-platform. It's just not that interesting. I think several months ago, Hiroki Totoki, or whatever he's called, the current CEO, head honcho at PlayStation, came out and said in one of their, possibly a financial thing, I can't remember what the event was, but came out and said that they were having a fundamental change in the process that they use for developing games. That was the point. Like, that was the point where they changed to a multi-platform approach to development, better or worse. They've historically focused on making a game for PlayStation and then let Nixis and all the rest of them port them as necessary. The point where he came out and said they were making a change, guarantee that was the change. It was an inevitable change because it's just commercially madness to do it the other way around, but the other way around did have some advantages for us at the end of it. In terms of all games going multi-platform and all the rest of it, it's just not an interesting conversation anymore to me. So if you have strong feelings about it, that's fine. Speak them into reality and we'll have a little discussion. But for me, okay, like, it's a little bit sad, the homogenization of hardware, I guess. In today's little scenario where you've got the Xbox Series consoles and the PlayStation 5s and then the PC, like, and I guess the Switch on the side. Yeah, it makes sense for games to go everywhere. I don't like the idea that all of the players in that space are kind of locked into that future, because it kind of dampens the potential for innovation and new ways to play. I'm not sure that that kind of innovation is on the table anyway, but in my kind of idealistic view of things, I liked that PlayStation tried PSVR 2. I liked that Xbox tried Kinect. I like it when a hardware manufacturer comes and does something unique. And in a multi-platform world where everything has to work on everything, you're less likely to see attempts like that in future. You're more likely to see a PlayStation 6 and an Xbox Series 2X, whatever they're going to call it, being very similar again, fundamentally, like having the same core capabilities. That's a bit of a shame, but it is what it is. I think we're already at that point. I think we arrived at that point at the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One generation. I don't think, unless Nintendo go completely wacky, I don't think we're going back to it anytime soon. So sure, let's put the games everywhere and we'll see what hardware ends up being worth buying, I suppose. James, as an Xbox console player, you're happy with being able to play other games on your chosen console. Yeah, that's the obvious advantage. One thing that I never did like is when you've already got that hardware homogenization. I can't say words anymore, but when the hardware is already not offering anything as hardware, when like you're buying two consoles that are essentially the same because they have exclusive libraries, that was never in our best interest. So I'm not a fan of that. I'd much rather, if a game can be played on all of these bits of hardware, then it should be available on all of these bits of hardware. That's in our best interest. Kind of said that for a very long time. So seeing it happen is fine. I don't know. It seems to be a pretty strong assumption that it's all happening all at once and everybody's multi-platform everywhere all at once in exactly the same way, exactly the same capacity, their entire libraries just like that. I'm not convinced that's the case yet. because they are all still fighting, whether it be fighting to have like people buy their console or whether it be fighting to be a relevant platform. There are still going to be games held back for periods of time and all the rest of it, because they do all want to be relevant. But Tony, you bought Baldur's Gate 3, just waiting on it to come through the mail like a boom. Oh, you bought the physical edition. Does it come with statues and stuff? I bet Baldur's Gate 3 would have some cool statues and stuff, like little toys, just because of the setting. And the setting is obviously just Dungeons and Dragons, really, but that can make for some cool statues. However, don't advocate piracy for me, please. You know I'm in favour of emulation. That's all good. And I am fine with ethical piracy. Don't advertise piracy, because I don't like it. Like the bad kind of piracy. You know what I'm talking about. We've discussed it before. FTW, long as everything comes to PC, you'll be happy. Yeah, but what if there was a console that had some mad belly button stimulus that's not available on PC, that just did something completely wild that you haven't conceived of yet, that just was a new way to play games? And then those games didn't come to PC. That would still be alright, wouldn't it? I mean, everything comes to PC. I'm sure you get a peripheral or an adapter of some kind if it actually worked, but hey, sometimes you think we lose sight of the fact that we need some cheap platform options. I am not on board with the people that don't value the console experience in that way, Pete. I agree. Like, I think cheap on-ramps to get the experiences are very valid, very valuable. And sometimes I feel like I'm the only one left on social media that actually likes the current consoles still. I don't use them very much. I have a high-end PC, but I like what those consoles do. So, and that feels rare, because it seems to just be fashionable on social media to hate the consoles. Which is weird. It's weird. We have 6 questions. What's the time now? This has been shorter than I expected, but we'll get to those questions soon, because I haven't really plotted and planned what we're talking about. I don't really know what's going on in the world, so. Exactly, Tommy loves Sea of Thieves. That must be what he was talking about. And One Piece. Obviously, I know Tony loves One Piece. I know Chronic loves One Piece. I know most of the Discord are coming around to loving One Piece at the moment, because we have some very strong evangelical One Piece fans advocating for it. So much so that even I may have to watch it soon. Tom, you enjoy the pick up and play of consoles. Don't want to be playing with settings too much. Yeah, same. I appreciate that too. And the next consoles will probably be awesome for a little while when they come out as well. Do we like the thumbnail now? I like the thumbnail now, yes. Does the audience like the new Q&Asa thumbnail? I don't like the term audience. I don't have an audience. I have buddies. We're all buddies. Do my buddies like the new Q&Asa thumbnail? Tunes. Don't like tunes. Episode 840. You're watching the whole Cake Island. Oh, you're watching. So Cake Island is a One Piece thing. Spoilers. There's an island of cake. Now I can't watch it. I am not reading that made up word aloud, Isla. While we're here, Isla, could you put up the first of the questions? You like the time not being 10 PM? Yeah, there is. I could have said, oh man, there was so much to talk about there. I could have said so much about the plans for Gaming Arcadia and things like that. Stuff that's coming up. And I'm not going to say a lot. I'll say very briefly. So I'm going to stream today, fairly late. I'll probably stream tomorrow fairly late. I'm going to Italy on Friday, and I won't be back until Monday. Hopefully I'll be back on Monday in time to pick up a stream. So Soul Crushing Monday will come back. But then we're into August, and August I get to go really, really heavily into doing stuff for Gaming Arcadia, around the Discord, around the YouTube channel, around all of that, to try and, you know, make a go of it. That is, for one thing, going to include a lot of game streaming on the little late slot. So UK time, like 9 or 10 o'clock, going through to silly hours of the morning to catch American people as well and just play a lot of games. That'll be happening pretty much every day. But there is also the potential for videos in the daytime, like work on other kinds of content, which would be good to have. More opportunities for multiplayer things, more presence in the Discord. Very secretly, maybe looking towards maybe another secret project that I'm not going to talk about right now. And the podcast coming back. Arcadia Roundtable will be back. Split Stream will be carrying on. There's just going to be a lot of things going on here on the Gaming Arcadia channel, over on the Asa Games channel as well. And if you haven't already subscribed over there, please do. Those numbers help a lot. I need to get to 500 people on that channel. That's the target. And so far I'm on about 12. So try and do that. Who's hosting on the podcast now? I will be, Replicant. And Luke is still going to be. And I've got a few people in and around that won't be as consistent as Luke. So Amin will do it sometimes. JT is going to be around sometimes. I say Dodge, but he's not really in the picture at the moment because he's moving around and all the rest of it, so he probably can't for a little while, but he might be around. Tony can do it sometimes if he wants to, like people within the community that have done it before can still do it, but I am also going to be, not every week, but sometimes having guests on as well from outside of the community. I'm also, for the first time in years, probably going to look at going on other people's podcasts and things as well, like doing that little guesting thing, putting myself out there a little bit more, finding new people, making things bigger and all of that kind of stuff is all planned for August. So keep an eye, because I'm going to be trying very hard to do stuff without obviously losing what we've already got in the community. I don't want to crush the thing that's actually really good. I think I should get Replicant on the podcast with his ideally laptop camera and 10 chins. Absolutely. People that are in the Discord that want to be involved just need to talk to me and let me know. Let me know their like desire to be there, because it works. Just James, being from Game On Daily with me and Gaz make a reunion. That's not a sentence. I mean, it is a sentence, but it's not a logical ordering of words. Could I be a full-time YouTuber like Dreamcast Guy? I could not like Dreamcast Guy, but yeah, I could be a full-time YouTuber. That would be exciting. Yeah, so let's do questions. It's the first question up. I'm not on the question thing. I made it so that I can't see, and the consequence, once again, is that I cannot see, but now I can see. Abdel has asked, when can we expect a Gaz and Asa reunion? I'm going to say maybe. I'm going to say maybe soon. It's a thing that could happen. Let's do the next question, please. Not on a long-term basis, I'll say, but a brief thing could happen. So let's do the next one. It is Replicant. Thoughts about Sony suing Tencent? Yeah, that's come up. So Tencent have a game that was a very, very extremely blatant rip-off of Horizon, right? Shall I find the art? I'm not even going to find the art. I'm not going to find the art, but it was very, very blatant. It's their biggest mistake was that they used pretty much the same font for the title. So Sony is suing them, unsurprisingly. Don't really know what to say about that, Replicant. Like, it is very much a rip-off from what I remember of the game when it was like first announced. The Tencent version of it is a multiplayer co-op thing. From what we've heard of the story as it's developing now, it sounds like Tencent approached Sony initially hoping to use the Horizon IP to make a multiplayer Horizon game, and they did not work out a deal. They weren't successful in it, but it seems Tencent decided they were going to make it anyway, so they made it anyway. They made it anyway, and now Sony is suing them. And people draw parallels because Nintendo like to sue people, and Nintendo have a big case of litigation against Pocket Pair for Power World at the moment over Pokemon, and it's a little less clear, a little more sinister in that space because Power World isn't a very direct rip-off of Pokemon, and from the outside looking in, the Sony Tencent situation is a lot more blatant and a lot more like, yeah, of course you can't copy it to that extent, but if you actually get into the kind of nuance and subtlety and lore on what is and isn't acceptable, they use the same damn font. I don't know. You know what? You can definitely see why Sony will be suing Tencent for this effort. Everybody at a cursory glance can see that Tencent have ripped off Horizon, more than ripped it off. Like it's got the same font. it's got the same stupid little diamond shape. I need to bring it up and I can't find it. It's not. Oh fuck it. Google. Horizon Tencent. That would bring it up. Or it would if I could type. Horizon Tencent. Light of Motiram was the other game. Ah, fuck, what have I done? I accepted a pop-up without reading it. It redirected me somewhere terrible. Let's go for this one. Right, ready? I agree to this. Right. Oh, it's all bloody videos. Terrible. Anyway, just trust me. Tencent ripped off Horizon. Sony is suing them for it. Will they be successful? Probably. Will Nintendo be successful suing Pocket Pair over Power World? Define success. They've already managed to sabotage them and ruin their game for a while, so I don't know. Replicant, I'm speaking nonsense. You're with me, you understand, we're on the same page, everybody knows what I'm talking about. Just James has asked, am I going to play GTA 6? Do you know, James, I got a couple of hours into GTA 4 and I dropped it, and I haven't played GTA 5 because I had Rockstar launcher issues. Am I going to play GTA 6? Probably, but I like my high fantasy more than I like my city, whatever you'd call Grand Theft Auto. I mostly want to play it as like a tech showcase, more so than actually caring about the game, if that makes sense. I want to see what Rockstar are doing, and there's a lot about that game that I want to see, but it's as a tech demo almost, more so than wanting to run over civilians and do Grand Theft Auto things. I just want to play it because it's an absurd project of a game. So yes, I will probably play it. Evening, Dave. You're late. And that's fine. Replicant. Death Stranding 2 is a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. Am I going to play it, stream it? Yeah, so I need to play the first Death Stranding before I play the second one. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think it makes sense to play the first one in that particular IP. You know, I think it is a direct continuation, so I need to play the first one. Yes, I will stream it. The second one, it's going to take me so long to get through the first one and get around to it that I'll probably wait until the PC release of it. I don't have a PS5 Pro or anything like that, so guess I could play it on the PlayStation. The PlayStation is slightly awkward to stream. Like, it's a real finicky, very me-specific thing. But on the Xbox and on the PC, I can get good headphone sound and I can stream it through to my capture card, all synchronized with the video, and it's nice and easy. On the PlayStation, if you use headphone audio, it won't put anything out over HDMI. You have to choose one or the other, and if you choose HDMI, you can't have the headset surround stuff, the Tempest audio and all that. So it's just a little bit more of a ball ache to stream than the others. It takes a couple of extra wires to get it as good as I want it to be. So yeah, I'll play it and I'll stream it, but I can't tell you when. It might not be that soon. Dave Mack, you had to take the wife up to see her parents. Oh, that's nice of you. Did you also have to spend time with the wife's parents? Is that like a fun time, or is it awful? Replicant has asked again, like, if you could choose one cartoon skin for Call of Duty, what would it be? Replicant, I see the Call of Duty cartoon skins and I hate every single one. So it would have to be a cartoon that I didn't like, because I wouldn't want to debase any good cartoons by sticking them in Call of Duty. So stick like, no, not American Dad. Like, that had its moments. One that I really don't like. that I've watched the cartoon and gone, why do people like this? This is bollocks. One Piece. I've never seen One Piece. That's not my real answer. I don't know. I wouldn't want to put anything that I like in Call of Duty. And I see their cartoon skins. I see their Beavis and Butthead and whatever else. That's very sad. Very sad. Just looks awful. Craig, you like American Dad, but you like Call of Duty skins, so it works for you. Call of Duty is like military, half serious, then you're suddenly Butthead versus Nicki Minaj versus one of the turtles. I don't get it. I don't get. I do get it. They saw Fortnite making loads of money through weird collaborations and they tried to copy it. The game doesn't look like Fortnite. Oh well. You bought most of the Squid Game skins. Oh, Craig. Oh, Craig. All of that practice and we don't even play Call of Duty anymore, really. Maybe we will soon. Do your Squid Game skins work in the current, whatever multiplayer is, Black Ops 6? I mean, you're playing Grounded 2 still. And Craig should go and play with you. Yes, he should. I'll be finishing up here in just a minute. But you can play in the meantime as well. Tony, you bought the Depresso custom in Call of Duty. Is that a thing? Depresso as in your PAL world. Depresso PAL, whatever they're called. That doesn't exist in Call of Duty, does it? I wouldn't be like massively surprised if it did, but does it? Weird collaboration. Tom, what is your tea going to be? Dave Mac, you can't find the like button. Oh no. My bot was supposed to encourage people to use the like button today. That configuration obviously hasn't worked. He's just completely abandoned me. Right. Next one. Pete, you just want to say thanks for doing this show. Even if it doesn't last long into the future, it has been a real pleasure. I hope that it does though, Pete. I'm going to trying to make things work. And obviously, thank you again. Yeah. And it won't last if I have to get a full-time job. Realistically, like everything will come crumbling down because I don't have time for everything all at once. But I'll do my best, Pete. I'll do my best. Next question, if there are any more. Craig, you can't come and play. You've been told you have to watch something called K-Pop Demon Hunters. That's like a film, I think. Can't tell you anything else about it. Doesn't sound good, but have fun. Tony, congratulations on the pregnancy. Even at this age, you still got it. Wrong box, Tony. I said you can put anything in that box, but that message was intended for somebody else. Pete, will the boob room ever be unlocked? If it is, what the fuck will we find? I've been wondering for 2 years now. Spill the beans. Pete, this is why I said at the start, you can put whatever you want in the Q&A box. You can put questions in there. I will read them. I will respond, but I will not necessarily answer. This is one of those, I'm afraid. But thanks. Tom, have you come around to the fact that we're in a simulation during the Q&A break? I'm not sure I was ever against it, Tom. Would me in your simulation, like would an NPC in your simulation buy into the simulation theory? Or would it be telling if I do or don't? So yeah, maybe, Tom, maybe. Tom. Oh no, wait, that's the question I just did. The questions are flicking everywhere. I'm getting very confused. Isla says, what the fuck, which means it's all going wrong. Episode 13 just bursts in at the last minute to say hello. Hello, episode 13. How you doing? Is your little one asleep? Tony, it's COD Monster Energy Blue Monster. Reminded you of Depresso, so you bought it. Oh, Tony. That's not a valid reason to buy it. It's your money. Throw it where you want. Oh, Tony. Right. You're not falling asleep, Tom. You've got tea to make, and you're going to make something brilliant. And everyone's going to have mad envy and hunger. Is someone else in here? No. No. It was you pressing things. Question everything. That was the last of the questions. Which means, I guess we've reached the end of the return of Q&Asa. Has it been a good show? No. Episode 13. I've had a nice time talking to people, but no, it's not been a good show. I've been grasping at every little thread, talking about something for 3 seconds, then moving back to something else, then onto something else. It's going to be a terrible watch. Don't go back and watch it again. But yeah, people enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. So hopefully it was a good show. This is the end. I can't remember how I end this show. I'm going to press the button in a second. Please do things that someone on YouTube would ask that you do. Those are the things I need you to do. And get in the Discord. I will see you there. Bye, everybody. Wait, I missed the button.